Guys don't want to just be friends with you. Come on.
Well, you never know. Just putting it out there, putting the feeler out there.
True, very true.
Friend applications are open.
Friend application. Guys are like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'll be your friend.
Yeah.
Secretly, they're like, I'm going to ask her out on a date in like 6 months'
I'm
time.
going to be friends with her first,
Yeah.
and then
Don't do it, guys.
build
Don't
the
do it.
foundation.
It's a trap.
It is. It's 100% a trap.
It's a trap.
If Drake slid into anyone's DMs, who would say no?
I mean, she said about trust, but now she's like, nah, I'll break it for Drake. I'll break it.
Drake, if you're out there.
I'll break it for Drake.
If you're out there.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we like to talk about relationships and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person we want. So without further ado, please welcome Charlotte to the show. Charlotte, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. We got her out the wind. She almost got blown over.
No, I felt like Dorothy out there. Like, I'm not going to lie.
If I only had that umbrella, then it would have taken you away.
Honestly.
That's it.
Could have been in Oz by now.
I know, literally, could have been much better place. But I like to start and jump right in.
Go for it.
Tell us your age or your age range, and one thing a guy should know about you if he wants to take you on a date.
Oh, okay. So I'm 20, and one thing a guy should know about me. That's a good question. I kind of say it how it is. I'm not gonna lie.
That's probably pretty good. They probably love that.
Yeah. After a few drinks as well, like it's a bit, could go either way.
Oh, really?
Bit like Marmite. You're either going to love me or you're going to really hate me.
So like, are you just like really direct in terms of how you're feeling in that moment with a guy?
Quite, like, I'm still nice about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to just cut it dead. But I will just kind of come out with things.
What's like the most direct thing you've said on like a first date with a guy?
Oh, most direct thing. I was just like, I can't remember where we went, but it was to like this bar somewhere, probably back home where I'm from, and it wasn't like one of the nice ones. It was more one of the rundown ones.
Okay.
And I was just kind of like, oh, that was it.
That was it.
It was and from that, you know,
the date just went downhill.
Yeah, it just went downhill from there. That was like the moment where it was like,
Really?
we're in like the back end.
How bad was the bar? Was it just like?
It was just where I'm from. I'm from Hertfordshire originally.
That's quite posh for those of you that don't know.
There's posh places.
Yes.
There's some not posh places in and around.
Sure.
And we ended up in one of the not posh places. And I'm not really someone, I don't need to be out in London all the time or the most expensive place. No. But it was round like a back alley of somewhere, and it was more of like I didn't even know this place existed.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I was going to say, you would for your safety, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it was more of just really? Like, out of everywhere, not just the Weatherspoons down the road. Like,
it's very true. Even like a Weatherspoons, that's
that
nice
would have been better. Like,
yeah. Wow.
But,
so I'm guessing he asked you on a date and you're like, nah, this isn't for me.
Yeah. Then look, we had a nice time. It was all well and good. Still, we were there. So it happened. We had a nice time. But after that, I was just like, I'm not sure if we should do that again. No, I'm good.
Yes, I hear that. You've got some stuff you want to go through today. What's something you want to bring to conversation?
Oh, I've got a lot of not a lot, but I've got a few questions about kind of picking at a guy's mind as to why guys do certain things.
Go for it. That's why we're here.
Let's do it. Let me get my notes up. Hang on.
Do it 100%. And I'll try and be as honest but loving as possible.
That's what we want. That's what we need.
100%.
Right. They're all quite hard hitting, actually. I was going to be like, should we start with a nice one? But
do whatever.
The three I've got are quite right. We'll go from the top. So why do men, most men, not all, feel like they have to wear the trousers in the relationship?
Do they? Why does someone feel like they have to? Can you give me an example? What does that look like to you?
Like, as in, they've got to kind of be the one that makes calls all the shots. If you say, oh, should we go out? Don't get me wrong. Love it. If a guy wants to plan a date, please do. Love that. Take the reins. But like, there's just certain things where it's like, okay, hang on. You don't have to do everything. Like, just wearing the trousers in general in the relationship. It's like, you can let a girl do things for you as well.
That is true. I mean, when you say that, you can let a girl do things for you. I think many guys would be like, yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
But like, can you give an example where you had this experience where you were trying to do something and he just seemed very rigid and just inflexible, and you kind of take a point on that?
I'd say kind of just the general going out for a meal or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like where do you want to go? And he's like, oh, well, I think we should go here because I know this place and this is what we're doing, kind of thing. I get it. If you know the place, you know it's nice, but have a bit of adventure kind of thing. You don't have to plan.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay. What? So were you trying to suggest somewhere else?
Yeah, I was
just like, no.
Why don't we go to the place, I don't know, a few doors down from there kind of thing, from that restaurant? And it was like, well, no, I know this place. I think we should. Okay.
Interesting. Do you know what's funny? Because I've heard from many women saying that a lot of guys in their experience don't know how to just plan a date and take charge, and they would like that. Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong, there is that as well.
Yeah. Why? Maybe if he knows the place, I guess I think especially for the first date, I think a lot of the time you are trying to impress each other, but I think the first date, the dynamic is usually the guy trying to qualify himself to the woman a lot of the time, because just being truthful, like if he's asking you out on a date because he's attracted to you, right? So for him, you've kind of already ticked that box.
Yeah.
Like you already qualify. Only if you do something outlandish would he be like, oh, okay, maybe she's actually not for me. Like at least from like the first date onwards.
Yeah,
does that make
exactly.
sense? But I think the dynamic for a lot of first dates, a lot of the time, it's for the girl, and you tell me, it's okay, I'm open to see whether he can qualify for what I look for.
Yeah.
Right? So guys start from below qualification to then making it depending on how the date goes, whereas girls start here and that can only be retracted essentially, right?
Yeah.
So I think if he's like, oh, I know the place, and he maybe knows the waiters and stuff like that, at least maybe he feels, okay, I know this would be a good experience because I know.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe he seems kind of rigid on that because he wants to try and make sure that he does impress you with a nice evening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There are some guys who they very much feel that they want to sit in the leadership position of their relationship. And the leadership doesn't mean that he controls everything, but that it means that he kind of provides the frame that you kind of enter into.
Yeah.
And so now obviously if he chooses you, he'll value your opinion and input. So it's not like a dictatorship, right?
Yeah, I'd hope not.
No, of course not. But I think maybe part of, at least maybe early on, maybe guys is trying to set the precedent, just be like, you know, I want to take care of you, and you know, I want to provide the evening, and I just kind of want you to show up and be you, and I don't want you to have to stress about it. Now, obviously, you know, there'll be times where you would maybe plan things if you want to, and he'd be like, yeah, sure, babe. But I think at least initially, I think it can come from that guys want to show that they're capable to be, you know, to sit in that leadership role, then you can trust him to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How about like further on, outside of like the first date? Have you like dated a guy for a few months where he just seemed very kind of rigid in that sense?
God, I can't really remember. It's been a while. But I'd say in my experience, like, I guess another question in the midst of this is like, I've noticed that as the kind of relationship progresses, guys stop putting in the effort kind of thing. It's almost like, well, I've got you now. So
yeah,
kind of thing.
In a sense of stop putting in the effort in terms of like messaging you, in terms of like meeting up, so you're meeting up less, in terms of how you're meeting, like in terms of going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of sense?
Bit of everything. I'd definitely say I feel like when you first start a relationship, it's very much like, let's go out, let's do something, go to this restaurant, this bar.
Yes.
Go see a film, whatever.
Yeah.
And then as it kind of progresses, it is nice having a night in. I won't knock that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the further down the line you get, it's just like, oh, what are we doing this weekend? I don't know, maybe just like order food, watch a film. It's like, that's all well and good.
Yeah.
Every now and again. Like, I still need a bit of something sprinkled in.
I don't disagree.
To go out, feel good, like, it's just
disagree.
Nice.
No, 100%. I don't disagree with you. So my question is, at what point do you see that switch happen?
I'd say I've mainly seen it around like maybe the 2 to 3 month mark.
Okay. Have you just started sleeping together?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. Usually it happens around then. And part of it is because not every guy, not that guys obviously don't like going out on dates and taking girls out on dates.
Yeah.
But initially, for a lot of guys, it's seen as an investment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not that he doesn't want to, you know, go out with you or take you out and go and do fun things. But the initial courting, dating process, for him, it's an investment to get to the point
Yeah, it's the end goal.
that you
kind of
guys
thing.
can be intimate,
Yeah.
essentially. Once you guys have started being intimate, that's the return on his investment.
Yeah.
And I'm using these words to describe how men kind of think about it, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if he's kind of looking for something serious, that investment should generally still continue.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, sure, you're being intimate and stuff, but he still wants to progress the relationship and build that connection. But if he's not looking for anything serious, then it is very common that once he starts having sex with the girl, then he's like, okay, cool, I've started to get the return on my investment, so now I can just enjoy the returns.
Yeah, I've got what I wanted kind of thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is that even if a guy is open to a relationship, it's very easy to fall into that pattern because it's like, oh, I can spend time with her, which I want to do. We can be intimate and, you know, be physical, which we want to do. And I can save money because I don't have to take her out to £100 dinner. We can watch a film inside and have a nice time. Do you know what I mean? And those times are good, but I think that's when, this is something I say to women that I work with, it's important to set the precedent or to continue the standard of we invest as much in the emotional time as much as we do with the physical time. Because it is common, like a lot of time dates will just become Netflix and chill dates.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then as the woman, that's for you to be like, hey, I'd really love it if we could do this.
And
Do you know
look,
what I mean?
I'm not like a massive going out person.
Yeah.
But not even to like go out and be out all night, like doing whatever. Just go for a meal instead of ordering a Domino's or something. Something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of keep that excitement of like, doesn't need to be big, doesn't need to be fancy.
But do you communicate that to the guy?
I have in the past.
And
yeah.
what have they said?
Oh yeah, we should. And then Friday will roll around. Oh, I was looking at this place, so I thought we could just stay in and.
Okay, but then
order
do you
food.
still go and still see him?
Yeah, I probably would have, to be honest.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's fair
fall
enough.
into that trap. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So it's if your actions don't maintain the standard, so be like, okay, well, and it's not saying, okay, well, if you don't book us to do something, I'm not going to see you. But I think if you're still continuing to indulge in the Netflix and chill dates, there's not really that much incentive for him to try and plan external dates.
Yeah, to change it up.
Does that make
kind of
sense?
thing. Yeah.
Because you're saying that you want it, but then if you're still kind of coming over and doing that, he's like, okay, she says she wants it, but this is something I could push further down the line.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
Whereas
I
if you
get
can be
that.
like, hey, look, I love spending time with you inside, but it's actually really important for me that we do and fun stuff together because that's the kind of relationship I want. And you go, if that's not for you, completely understand, but I'm going to have to take a step back from this. And when a guy hears that, he'll be like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to take a step back, so I'll make an effort in this area. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's guys, you know, not every guy's looking for a relationship.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So sometimes it can be, you know, for lack of a better term, a guy is just investing in the beginning to get a girl to a point where she's a sexual option for him. And then once she is, he's like, okay, cool, I don't need to take her out because we can have sex when we want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it is very intentional, but sometimes guys, it's like they just fall into it like the girl does. But then I guess in that sense, at that point, could you not plan a date? Be like, hey, why don't we go do this? I'll sort it out.
Oh, I have. Like, I hit that stage. I was like, I'm so done waiting for you to book something. It got to a point where I was like, get here for this time. We're going to this restaurant at, I don't know, 7 p.m.
Yep.
If you want to go to the bar or pub that's next door after, we can. If
Sure.
not, then we'll come back and chill and put a film on.
I think that's
Absolutely
great.
fine.
And did he show up? Was he like,
yeah,
yeah,
he
I'll
did.
do that?
Yeah,
Awesome.
a few
That's good.
times.
I do
So-
have to ask though,
Oh no.
when you did that, who paid? Did he pay or did you
Ooh.
pay?
I think we split. Or
Okay.
it was like someone, I think he might have paid for the dinner, but then we did end up going to the bar after and I was getting the drinks and stuff like that. So kind
Okay,
of even
cool.
it out. I'm very much like that. Like,
I get that.
I don't like feeling like I owe someone, whether it's friend, partner, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Don't like it. So I'm like, if you get that, I'll put up a fight to try and at least split it.
I
But-
appreciate.
At least then if we go somewhere else, I'll get the drinks.
Yeah.
I don't know, if we see a movie after, I'll get the snacks. I'll get the tickets, stuff like that. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sure.
Just to try and balance it out
No,
a bit.
yeah, no, that reciprocation. I think a lot of guys definitely would appreciate the
Yeah.
offer and gesture in that. The only reason I ask is because it's so good saying, you go, oh, I've booked us to go to this fancy restaurant, but you're paying. Guys will be like, she's taking me for a ride. What the hell?
Yeah, no, not that bad. Plus, I don't like the feeling of like, if they can hold it over my head kind of thing of like,
Mm,
if the relationship then all did go south and whatever, arguing
Yeah.
about something, they're like, well, I pay for everything. I can't do that. You can't throw that one at me.
Mm.
Like, at least I can then go, well, hang on. Yes, lovely, you've paid for a few meals, but we take it in turns. Or
yeah.
I've paid for the drinks. We've done it quite evenly.
Yeah.
Like,
So would you not accept being in a relationship where, let's say, for example, he is taken on like 95% of like financial burden or responsibilities? Would you really want it to be a kind of more equal than that? Is that what makes you feel more comfortable?
I think it would make me feel more comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, it would be lovely. Like, at the end of the day, if you've got the money and you want to spend it, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, I don't know. I just feel bad. I'm like, I can pay for it myself. You don't have to feel like you have to pay for me just because we're dating or we're seeing each other or we've gone out,
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I can pay for it as well. Let me treat you as well. Even if it's not every single time.
Yeah, of course.
But we can take it in turns almost. Or
I'll be honest, Charlotte. I think you're a rare breed because a lot of guys' experience
Mhm.
is that even though women are really doing well in their career and they're earning money, a lot of guys' experiences, a lot of girls would like the guy to still kind of provide that financial part
yeah.
for the majority of the relationship. So I imagine, like, with you doing that with guys, I imagine they took very favorable to that, did they, or no?
Yeah, at times. There's been some people that have almost taken a bit of offense to it when I've been like, oh no, like,
How old have they been?
God,
Even older?
like not mid 20s, like 23, 22,
Oh,
22,
okay.
somewhere
Okay,
around
still
there.
quite young. Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
but they've taken offense to it because it's almost been like, well, why won't you let me pay for it? Kind of thing. Like, I want to take care of you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but we can split it. Like, you don't have to. I get it on a first date. Like, I do think if you've messaged me and you want to take me out on a
Yeah,
first date,
Yeah.
then yeah, that is one time. I'll still offer whilst we're there to
Yeah.
pay or split. But in the back of my mind, I am going, will you ask me
Sure.
to come here? Therefore, for that one first date,
Yeah. No, I
that's on you. kind of thing.
I completely concur. I completely agree with you. One thing I always say is I think on the first date, if a guy doesn't pay, then he wasn't raised right. But if she doesn't offer, then she wasn't raised right. And I think the gesture of you offering, even if you obviously want him to pay,
Yeah.
I think that does go a long way with guys.
Or even
for
if you
sure.
know deep down, like, he's going to pay it, but I'm still
Yeah.
going to offer just
Yeah,
to be
100%.
nice. Because I don't want it to look like, oh, I've just agreed to this to get
Yeah,
a free meal or a free drink or whatever.
100%.
Kind of thing.
We need more girls like you, Charlotte. Come on. We love
you.
that. We love that. Let me ask you something. What's
Okay.
one thing you think men get wrong about women?
I think in my experience, a lot of people I've kind of spoken to or been in a relationship with think that I've almost got some list of like, oh, I'm talking to so many guys and all of this. And it's like, no, okay. Most girls, I'm not going to say every because
Sure.
don't want to annoy people, but girls do like the attention.
Mm.
So do guys. Most guys like attention as well.
Of course.
However, if I'm talking to you and I've been talking to you for a while, then I'm talking to you. Like,
so when you say talking to a while, is that you just kind of messaging but not really seeing them that much? Or is it seeing them a lot? Or
maybe been out like a couple of times.
Okay.
Like, kind of like early stages before you get in to a relationship.
Sure.
And then it's always in like the jokey, sarcastic way of like, oh, I bet you've got loads of guys messaging you. It's like...
So how long would you be talking and then you've met up a couple of times before when you start getting that, like, oh, I bet you're talking to loads of guys, and you're starting to get a feel from energy from him that maybe you're not as into it, because it sounds like you're saying, oh, well, if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you, but he's thinking you're out there doing the most.
Yeah. I don't really know. Maybe a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Only a couple weeks. Wow. Okay.
Maybe. I'm not really a person that is... I don't talk to loads of people.
She's not out here in these streets.
No.
That's what she's saying.
That was my polite way of saying it.
Sorry, I'll say it for you.
Thank you.
I'll take the slack.
Thank you. Like, even if guys are messaging me, I'm not great on my phone, kind of thing. But I'd rather find someone that I really get along with and make that work than be messaging 50 different people just for a bit of attention. Like,
yeah. Wow. I think, why do you think, it's not every girl, but most, I think especially a lot of younger women, you know, because you're 20, you're at uni, so you've kind of stepped into the world as a young woman, as an adult and stuff. And, you know, if you're a young, attractive girl, you are going to be getting a lot of attention. And a lot of girls do indulge in just the attention, whether they're interested in the guy or not. Has that never been... Why do you think you've not indulged in that as much? Because I think a lot of the time, at least a lot of women I've talked to, they very much do indulge in it, especially when they're like a young adult, right? And then it's when they're, you know, into their 30s or whatever, they're like, okay, now if I'm talking to you, I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
So why do you think you haven't really indulged in that much yourself?
I've always been quite a relationship person, even from like the age of, I don't know, 15, 16. I was never really that person that was out. Even when I first went to uni, I'd go out, but I wasn't out looking for the next person I could get with or whatever. I'm more of like, I want to get to know you. Like, don't just come up to me in a club and try and kiss me. Like, I'll freak out if anything. Like, if I'm going out, especially at uni, I'm going out with my girls that I live with, my friends. Yeah. I'm going out to have fun and have a laugh. Yes. Like, if whatever happens, we're at a bar or a club and I do meet someone, which has happened in the past, then cool. But I'm going to get to know you. Yeah. I've never been someone that's like craving that attention from multiple people at the same time kind of thing. Yeah. I think it gets too complicated as well. I don't know how people juggle it. Like some people I know are like talking to different people at the same time. Like,
it's like a part-time job.
Yeah, no, literally. It is. I don't know how people do it. Yeah. I'm going to call them the wrong name or send the wrong text to the wrong person.
Very true. Send the wrong picture to the wrong person.
Oh God. Yeah, no, see that? I'm already panicking and I'm not even in that situation. Like, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I don't know why, but
are you open to a relationship now?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised a guy hasn't come and snapped you up yet. Because I think a lot of what you're saying and the kind of mindset and how you see things, a lot of guys would look at it and be like, wow, that's like super girlfriend material. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So what's happening, girl?
Oh, it's been complicated. I've got something.
There's something going on.
There's something going on in the background.
Okay, we love that.
But again, seeing how it goes. Like, I've had my fair share of bad relationships, even though I'm 20. It's not been a great run so far.
Has there been like a common thread? Like, have they all had something in common or all very different?
All very different, I'd say. But yeah, it's just not been a great track record so far.
Oh no, what?
So now I'm just kind of like, I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to
Mm.
jump in because at the start it's fun and we get along and oh my God, this is so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah,
Because I've
yeah,
fallen
yeah.
in that trap and it's all gone wrong 2 months down the
Okay.
line. So I'd rather properly get to know someone and see how it is and not jump straight into the relationship kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
If it works,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like, great, let's do it.
Mm.
But I'm not going to take that jump in like the first month of getting to know someone and
Yeah.
just talking to them. Like, I need to know who you are and what your intentions are.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm not going
And when
doing
you
all that again.
And when you say take that jump, are you talking jump into the relationship, jump into being physical? Like, what does that mean when you say taking that jump?
Bit of both. Definitely the relationship. Like,
Yeah. A month is fast.
yeah.
Well, I think a month is quite quick.
Yeah. To fully jump into like a full blown relationship.
100%.
Because I've done it before where it's like, got along well with a person, seen them all the time and then met the family and then
Oh, wow.
like, and it's all in the first like 2 months.
Wow.
Then I've been sat there and gone, oh,
What's going on?
you've changed a bit there. Like, not sure how I feel about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just not doing that again. I want to see how things go. If we still get along and we both want this. And I know that you're not just going to go to a club and
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. No, I hear that. And I think that's the, building that foundation properly.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the time, and I say this because I've fallen into that trap, we can build, the foundation is built upon a lustful relationship, not a companionship a lot of the time. And if you're looking for just something fun, like a friends with benefits or whatever, then that's great. That's fine. But then for a relationship, I think the foundation has to start from a place of companionship and you build on top of that.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm also like, be honest with me about what you want. If you just want to be friends, if you want a friends with benefits.
Guys don't want to just be friends with you. Come on.
Well, you never know. Just putting it out there, putting the feeler out there.
True. Very true.
Friend applications are open.
Friend application. Guys are like, oh my God, yeah, I'll be your friend.
Yeah.
Secretly, they're like, I'm going to ask her out on a date in like 6 months'
I'm
time.
going to be friends with her first
Yeah.
and then
Don't do it, guys.
build
Don't do
the
it.
foundation.
It's a trap.
It is. It's 100% a trap.
It's a trap.
But yeah, friends with benefits. If you want to build to see if it can be a relationship, just tell me. Like, don't string me along. Don't tell me you want it to be a relationship. So you get all the benefits and then you're going to switch up. And
I agree. I think there's two things when that happen. I think one, sometimes a guy just flat out lies. So he knows that he doesn't want a relationship, but he's just telling you what he thinks you want to hear.
yes, that he gets what he wants.
So he gets what he wants.
Yep.
Very true. I do think there is something else where he can be open to a relationship, but it can happen where he's like, okay, I'm open to potentially having a relationship with this person, but then you do get to know each other and maybe you get on, but he's like, oh, we get on, but actually maybe for the kind of relationship I'm looking for, this actually wouldn't work. And so I wouldn't say his mind changed, but it's kind of like he hasn't decided whether he wants a relationship with her yet. Does that
Completely
make sense?
get that. That's why, especially now, that plays into my thing of I'm going to wait it out. Like, I'm not jumping in because I'm going to give you that time as well to be like, it's going well, but is it going well just because I'm attracted to that person? Or is it going well because, no, I actually really like them and we get along, it's going well kind of thing in general. And I want it to keep going.
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah,
that's why now I'm like, let's just take it slow.
She's got, you know what? Yeah, she's 20, but she got an old head on her shoulders. We love that.
Been told that quite a lot before.
100%.
Like, yeah,
we love that. So kind of from your previous experiences and the not so great ones.
Oh no.
What would you say maybe, what's 2 green flags you look for early on and then maybe 2 red flags you look for early on?
2 green flags. I suppose they kind of go hand in hand. Like, green flag, honesty.
How do you know if he's being honest though? Because you don't really know him yet.
That's true. Very true. Oh yeah, you've just killed my point, to be honest.
Sorry, girl.
Next question. Straight up killed my point. Green flags, I'd say when I'm getting to know you, like, if we're talking about family and stuff like that, if you're talking well about your family, like, I like that kind of things. That means you're a good person in all
Yeah,
honesty.
yeah.
Like, you love your family. I know every situation's different. Some people don't get along. That's fine.
Yes.
But if there's not a situation there and you're just being rude about your family for no reason, like,
yeah,
they're there to look out for you. They're there to help you.
yeah. No, I hear that. Yeah, I agree.
So I'd say that's definitely a green flag, is showing that they care about things like their family.
Yeah.
I'd also say having goals for
Big
their
facts.
future.
I agree.
100%. Because I've got goals that I want to achieve and go and do.
Yeah.
And if you're just kind of sat there without a goal, just kind of floating through life, that's fine. Some people want to do that. But you've got to have some sort of ambition to push you in life.
I get you.
So
you're like, some people can do that, but that's not the man I'm going to choose.
No.
Basically.
Because it's not going to work, because
I get it.
I've got goals. So if you don't, we're going to clash, because I'm going to be going, oh, but I want to go and do this to see if it helps with getting into a music career. Like, I want to go to this studio to see if they can help me, and I want to travel and I want to see places. And you're just like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to travel. I don't want to go anywhere. It's like, oh.
I hear that. I think the thing about, let's say, going on an adventure and choosing someone who wants to kind of explore life, I think 100% I agree in alignment. In terms of like having the goals, obviously I would always advocate for guys to have goals, because one, it's good for them, but two, it does make them more attractive to women. But also, generally speaking, for guys, not that they don't care if a woman has goals, but it's not as important, because if he's kind of on a trajectory, a lot of the time guys are happy to bring the girl along with him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I think I completely get, as a young woman, why that would matter for you as much, for sure. I guess for guys, it's not that it doesn't matter. I think passion is attractive.
It's just not as important.
Yeah.
Guys.
It's not like an attraction trigger. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think a guy's been like, I'm going to ask her out because she's just super ambitious.
She wants to go on holiday next week.
Do you know what I mean? She's like, it is. What about 2 red flags that you kind of
2 red flags
look for now?
I'd say one of them, I'm all up for going out and having a bit of fun. But if you were out constantly, I'm talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, every weekend, you're out. Just makes me think a bit like,
What do you think that says about the guy?
I take that as like, there's a difference between wanting to have fun and have a laugh with your mates and go out. Fine, do that. I'll do that. Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's merge the groups. Let's all go out.
Facts, yeah.
But I think if you're out constantly, there's got to be a different reason behind it. Going back to the thing of, is it because you're getting attention in a club from girls that are drunk and think you're attractive? Or is it because girls are drunk so you can go and get with people?
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that angle. That's a good point. Another one could be coping for something. You know, a lot of the time when we as human beings, when we want to run away from the problems in our life, we are going out getting drunk, going to drugs, addicted to video games, whatever it is. So yeah, and if I'm being honest, I think that's definitely something that guys look for as well. Like, if a girl doesn't matter if she goes out with her friends here and there, like, people do that.
Yeah.
But if she's out all the time,
every weekend of the month,
a guy's like, why does she enjoy this scene a lot?
Yeah.
Like, she enjoys this scene a lot. Like, that she chooses to, that's like a part of her vocabulary in terms of what she does in her free time. No, I completely agree.
Especially if you know that your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, are good looking and they're going out constantly. It's like, well.
Yeah. I would say that guys tend to, I don't think guys go out for attention compared to women though. Because most guys really don't get that much attention. They really don't. Like, most guys don't get noticed, is the truth. It's like,
I was having that conversation with someone the other day
really?
About how it's like, if a girl goes to a bar, she'll have drinks bought for her.
Yeah.
If a guy goes to a bar looking for something, he's got to be the one to make the move, kind of thing.
100%. I know girls that don't go out with their purses. Like, when they go out, they're like, I'm not taking my purse because I don't need to. Like, that's the thing. But I do think guys do go out. I was gonna say to hunt. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
But I think that is part of it. Like,
is,
you know,
yeah.
to, you know,
part of the chase as well.
part of the
like,
chase. Yeah. Yeah. The indulgence.
everyone loves a bit of the chase. Like,
Yeah. And I also don't think, you know, because sometimes people are like, guys and girls can be like, well, just because I go out all the time, that doesn't mean I'm doing the most, etc. And I'm like, I hear that, but I don't think it's a coincidence that when people get into relationships, they go out less.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
No.
Do you know what I mean? What about the second red flag?
Second red flag, probably be being bad on your phone. Like, okay, hypocrite. I'm bad on my phone. I have already said this.
Yes.
I know I'm a hypocrite, but I feel like if you're really interested in someone, I will have your notifications on, even if my phone's on Do Not Disturb. I might not reply to you like as soon as you hit send, I've started typing. Yeah. But if it's going hours and hours on end without any form of response, especially if we're trying to make a plan or doing something like that. Yes. And you're leaving hours in between the texts you're sending. But especially if I can see you're active on other things. Sure. If I've texted you and I can see that you're live on Instagram or something. Yes. Yes. But I'd say that's a bit of a red flag because I'm just like, what are you doing?
I hear that.
Or turning your location off, like randomly.
How turning it off? What do you mean?
Like, if you're telling me, oh, I'm just going to Tesco or something. Not that I'm a stalker and I'm checking everyone's location constantly. I would like to put that. If I get bored, I do have a little scroll through whose locations I've got.
You check people's location? Can you just check people's location? I thought they had to share it with you.
Some people just have it on.
Is that on WhatsApp?
On like Find My iPhone. And
oh,
stuff
that's
like
why.
that.
I've got a Samsung, so I wouldn't know.
There you go. You're safe. I can't track you.
That's why I have the Samsung, so no one can track me.
There you go. Do you know what? I might need to change phones.
Yeah, don't tell my girlfriend.
Great Samsung advert that was.
I'll take it. You're welcome. Sponsor me. Yeah. Sponsor me. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you're telling me, I don't know, I'm going to my parents or I'm going to Tesco or something, fine, go. But if you're then turning your location off for like 3 hours, then turning it back on. I don't think you were at Tesco.
You know what? Yeah, anyone who has an iPhone, this has added a whole new realm to this dating location stuff.
Oh my God, it's terrifying.
Like, I really didn't realize.
Have you seen the thing that came out on Snapchat? Terrifying.
No, what is it? What?
There's like, if you pay for, I think it's called like Snapchat Plus or Premium or something. Yeah. And if you have your location on and people have that upgrade and have paid for that, they can literally track your movements. Not just like see you in that location and then see you in that. They can literally pretty much see the number on your front door. Like,
that's actually crazy.
And they can literally see that you went from Tesco to your mum's house to the park to the train station to wherever. Like, they can literally, it's called like a snap trail or a ghost trail or something.
Isn't that dangerous?
Oh, 100%. I think it's...
So wait, if somebody follows you on Snapchat but you don't follow them, can they track where you are?
I don't know. I don't have it.
It has to be for friends, to be, surely.
If your location's on. Yeah. On Snapchat. Yeah. And if you're friends, then they can do it.
Okay,
I'd hope. Because if not, that is terrifying. Like, it's terrifying as it is, I'd say. Yeah, yeah. Like, it's one thing knowing where I am and where I've been, but literally being able to follow me.
To like literally track you in real time.
That's terrifying.
That's actually like, because I mean, you know, especially if we had, you know, unwanted admirers, it's for sure that
could just turn up
just
where you are.
That's mad. That's mad. I'm out of this social media game. Maybe I should step out of it.
Yeah.
What's something else you wanted to talk about?
Let's get the notes page back out.
Yeah, go for it. And now I can ask you something.
Okay, right. Again, not all men, but why do men feel like they need to hide their emotions? Like, they can't show that they're upset, or in my experience, it's very much been like, if a guy's upset, there's no way he will cry in front of you, no matter how upset. Like, I could have just shot his dog in front of him. And he's, not that I would, love dogs, dog person.
Yes.
But he's not going to show that emotion. He's not going to cry. And I've never been able to get my head around why that is.
I hear that. How is this like dating and early on? Are you talking about you've been in a relationship for like 2 years? Like,
I'd say in a relationship, maybe we'll go from like the 6-month mark.
okay.
Roughly. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got guy friends and that back home as well that I've grown up with. And even then, even now, if something happened, I'd be shocked if one of them cried in front of me. Like, it's just never been done. And I've known these guys back home since I was like, I don't know, 11. We went to drama school together, like a drama.
Interesting. I think with guys, I think guys who are close friends of yours, I'm not sure why they would try and actively make sure you didn't see that side of them. I think many guys have had the experience of being too vulnerable too soon with a girl, and it's backfired.
Yeah.
In a sense of, you know, maybe he showed that level of vulnerability quite early on, and that made her think he was weak or made her less attractive to him. That's quite common. And I do believe guys kind of have to earn vulnerability with women in a sense of she has to have developed a level of genuine desire for you and want something with you, so that you being vulnerable is a sign of endearment to her as opposed to a sign of, oh, this guy doesn't have it together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it like a masculinity thing as well? Like, would you say, like, do guys feel less masculine if you're breaking down in front of me kind of thing?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to sit here and say that that's never been the case for some guys. I think some guys feel like, oh, well, you know, they have this idea of what a man is and what a man should be. And sometimes a lot of the time a man is, you know, the idea of what a man is, you know, to be the solid mountain that waves can crash into. And so he can't do that if his emotions are the waves, not the mountain, right? But I think it takes a lot of trust, I think, for a guy to show that side of himself to a woman, I would say. I think amongst male friends, it's definitely easier. And like you'll find in close male circles, like guys will open up and they'll just be like, yeah, I've struggled with this, or, you know, ideally. But with women, I think, especially because guys know women talk. Women talk.
I suppose that.
Do you know what I mean?
They wouldn't want everyone's, like, the girl's friends all knowing that that was going on.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, especially if you're in common, like, you're in similar circles, and if there's a girl that he likes or if he likes you, he doesn't want to get back like, oh yeah, like Sam was like bawling his eyes out because
cries all the time.
Yeah, because he lost his hamster and lost it for an hour, and because everyone be like, oh right, like you need to chill, man.
Yeah.
So I think it's that because it can repel women, right? If it's done too soon, depending on the woman. A lot of guys have experienced it where that has happened, where it's kind of seen as less attractive. But it does take a lot of trust, I think, for a guy to do that. It takes a lot of trust for him to open up. Why you've never had a guy cry with you at all?
I have, like, one or two, but the majority,
Maybe they fancy you. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
You have male friends, right?
Yeah.
Did you friend zone them?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
He's gonna kill me if he watches this.
Hey, you don't have to say his name. We didn't say which one.
But yeah, never said which one. So that's fine.
Is that an absolute no-go for you?
Yeah. I've grown up with him. He's like an older brother to me that I'm just like, I also wouldn't ever want to run the risk of it then if it didn't work out. You
lost the friendship.
Yeah. Not only have you lost a relationship, you've lost a friendship that you've had for years kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. I'm guessing he's had relationships since you.
Yeah.
When he's been in relationships, has the dynamic of your friendship changed? Or has it pretty much stayed the same?
I'd say it's pretty much stayed the same.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times where we've both been at unis and not back home in Hertfordshire at the same time kind of thing. Therefore, you kind of lose contact a bit.
Yeah.
Just out of sight, out of mind. Not in a horrible way.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But
it's true.
Yeah, but then once we're both back home, it's like, oh, drink.
pick up where you left off.
Yeah, like,
yeah, 100%.
get the group, go for a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been friend zoned by a guy? Do you feel?
It's gonna sound really big headed if I say no.
Hey, say it how it is, Charlotte. Say it how it is.
I don't think I have.
Mm.
Trying to go back through.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
Mm.
But then
Well,
is
that
that
makes
because
sense.
I'm also not as open? I am quite closed off.
Sure. What,
So-
emotionally you mean? Or
Yeah, can be. But
Mm.
also, like I said, I want to get to know someone.
yeah.
I'm not going to make that first move to get rejected.
I see what you're
So-
saying. I see what you're saying. I get that. Yeah, I think it's rarely the other way around, but I think there's the equivalent of a girl friend zoning a guy
Yeah.
is a guy like putting a girl in like the friends with benefit zone.
Right. Yeah.
So that's like, so maybe he's being intimate with her, but he's not open to having a relationship with her.
Yeah.
But maybe she wants one from him. I think that's probably more the equivalent. Has that ever happened to you?
Thinking about it. Maybe one.
One?
Maybe.
Okay, why'd you say maybe?
It's been a bit of a complex situation, or
Mhm.
it was. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was kind of very on and off for a little while.
Mm.
And I won't lie, I think it was a convenience thing for him because
Sure.
again, it was when we were both in like the same place at the same time. It was
Yeah.
then the, oh, hey, what you up to kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah.
it never went anywhere.
And
So I'd say, yeah, that's probably my
yeah.
equivalent was with that guy, that it was very much,
And I'm guessing, were you open to it going somewhere?
oh, 100%. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so how, you said it was kind of on and off.
Yeah.
And like, how long were you on and off for?
Oh, I'd say a good like 2-3 years. 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one.
And were you dating other people? Were you open to seeing other people?
Yeah, that's what made it more difficult. Like throughout that time period,
Mm.
we'd both had 1 or 2 partners each, kind of thing, separately,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time it was then like single and back in the same place again, because we've got some of the same friends, so
right.
we'd bang into each other all the
Yeah,
time.
all the time.
So
Sure.
when it was then like both single, both seeing each other again,
Yeah.
then it was very flirty and almost like a relationship and everything like that. But then the next day it would be as if nothing happened.
No, nothing had happened.
Yeah.
How did you break the cycle of being on and off?
I just stopped giving the attention back,
Right.
which sounds horrible, but it was
No, yeah.
it was messing with my head badly.
Yeah,
Like-
of course.
I wanted it to go somewhere
Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't really know how to say that to him because I didn't know what he wanted, because it was so confusing. Like I said, it would be, we'd all be on a night out and everyone would think that we were together, but then the next morning it would just be like, you're right.
Yeah, it was like for the
Dead.
moment.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so I didn't know where his head was at, if it was just a convenience thing or if he actually wanted it to go somewhere. So in the end, I just had to be like, I can't do
Yeah.
it. I didn't say that. Like,
Yeah.
we're still friends, kind of. Like, we still see each other
Yeah.
and stuff like that every now and again. But I'm a lot more standoffish
Sure.
now.
You
because,
don't give as much energy to it now.
No, because I
Yeah.
know that I'll end up kicking myself for doing that kind of thing. And
Sure.
it's not worth it. Like, it went on for so long that it's gone past that point now. Like, I had the point where I wanted something more,
Yeah.
but that's kind of been ruined now because it
Yeah.
was just so many mind games for so long that I'm like,
Yeah, 100%.
don't want it. Like,
Yeah. And
Because you're just going to do the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think so many women fall into this trap or like this situation where there's a guy where maybe he's not in a place when he wants it, but he's open to something kind of chilled and casual and convenient. And she's like, okay, well, having that of him is better than having nothing of him. But then, like you said, it can go on for longer than you thought it could have. And maybe that has kind of stops you from being open to someone who could be great for you or whatever. So from that experience, what would you tell yourself in the first 3 months of you kind of starting this involvement with him? Like, what would you tell yourself now?
Don't do it.
Just don't do it?
Don't do it. Or do it, but from the start, be honest. Be honest 100%. And stay true with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because there were faults on both sides. I'm not going to knock that. It was a lack of communication of what was going on. And then from then, it just was a mess, in all honesty. Yeah. So looking back, I definitely either say, don't do it, or if you're going to do it, be honest. Come clean. Just say it all. Yeah. That you want it to go somewhere. Yeah. Do that, because if not, then you're going to get missed around for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things where sometimes we don't ask the question because we're afraid of not getting the answer we want.
Exactly.
But then that ends up hurting us worse in the long term.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we'd know straight away, we'd either go, oh, okay, this person was open to it and we could explore it, or this person was never open to it. And so we can then be open to someone who's willing to give us what we want.
Exactly. And we never really had that conversation properly. It was all kind of assumptions and guessing games, mind games, stuff like that. So
yeah, of course.
I think definitely, I know looking back, I would have preferred to have just had that conversation, lay it all out on the line. Yeah. So at least then it's clear if it works. If they go, yeah, me too, I want that to happen, great. Let's actually try it. Yeah, 100%. Or if they go, I'm not really in that place. Okay, fine. Step back.
Yeah, 100%. Completely.
That would have been so much easier and so much better than messing around for 2 years.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree. Let me ask you something.
Oh no.
You're an actor. What's it like dating in the industry? Or do you feel like you do? I know you're still at uni, but have you dated actors or other artists before?
I wouldn't say. I dated a guy that was training in musical theatre.
Where was he training?
Wasn't the Brighton Academy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Maybe beep that out.
Just wondering. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Beep that one out. Yeah. I've not really dated many people in like the theatre, acting, music industry.
Yeah.
I've more so the people I've dated have been like the social media industry.
Okay.
So yeah, you can pick which story you want there.
let's start with the social media, because I know that's kind of where you're kind of enveloped now. What guys on social media presence like?
I've really had a mix.
Okay.
I've had the guys that do social media and they love it and they get it. As in, if I'm saying, oh, if we've got plans and I'm like, oh my God, I have to cancel. I'm so sorry, but I've got this event tonight that I've just been offered. It's massive. It's a really good opportunity. I need to go. Yeah. They get that. They're like, oh my God, that's sick. Go to it. Whereas I've noticed with guys that don't really get the social media side, they're like, oh, well, you're cancelling last minute. You post loads of pictures. It's just for attention and that kind of thing. So I've had the guys on social media that they get it. They get that it's a job at the end of the day, especially nowadays. It's it's 100%. A job. Like I've had great opportunities through it that I'm so grateful for. But then there is also the other side. I noticed this when I was first starting out. because I was kind of only just starting out and getting to grips, it was very much, oh, well, why are you posting that? Like,
Well, the guys.
yeah.
Right.
Or if they had the following as well, which obviously they did, social media.
Yeah.
A lot of people that follow social media guys are girls. It works in reverse as well. Like a lot of guys follow me. So I noticed that it was very much, once people realized that the guy was seeing someone,
Yes.
the girls turn. They're like, why are you seeing her? Who's she? Why? They can get quite spiteful. People like to get involved.
Very true.
And because it's quite public,
Yeah.
I'm a very private person now. Like,
yeah.
if I am dating someone, I won't really plaster it all over the internet, because people get involved. And if you then break up, everyone's got an opinion, and it can go
Very
either
true.
way. They're either going to hate you or they're going to hate the person.
Very true. Yeah.
And
I
it's
guess,
just not nice.
would that happen with your male followers as well? Like if you started posting with a guy, they were like, oh, like you're taken. And then it kind of breaks the, it kind of breaks the fantasy of you being available, which is why they keep, following and liking your photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Because subconsciously they're like, oh, well, maybe somehow through this, I can get a chance with her.
Maybe if I like her story.
If I like her story, by some twist of fate, maybe she'll just pick mine out and be like, oh, wow, actually,
maybe
no, this
she'll
guy.
DM me.
Maybe she will, right?
I've
do you think that
noticed
happened to you?
I have noticed that in the past, that if I have put something up with a guy, it gets a lot less likes, or the followers will start to drop, kind of thing. You can see like all the guys leaving the chat. Like,
yeah. The males have left the building.
Literally. But then I've noticed when it's a guy with girl followers, the girls have the opinion, kind of thing. They'll be like, who's that? Who is she? Why are you with her?
Really?
Or at least that was my experience in the past.
Right.
Like, yeah, so
So
guys
it's like
are kind
they're
of like,
very territorial over him with the girlfriend.
That's what I noticed in the past.
Wow, that's so interesting.
And people are quick to hate, like to pick out any flaw. Like, why is she with him?
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
He's got this flaw. Why is he with her? She's got that flaw. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I do wonder, I wonder if these followers, because I assume you get DMs from guys, like your followers, quite a lot. And I've talked to guys, and I've had guys on the show who they've got hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah.
But the amount of DMs they actually actively get by women is less than 10% of what a girl with half his following gets. So it's interesting because it's interesting that these women then become very territorial.
Yeah.
But then I wonder, are they actively pursuing him? Like, are they actually sliding in his DM?
Oh, I doubt it. It's just the comment section.
That's
it's
so
the TikTok
weird.
comment section.
Wow, that is so weird. Okay, so let me ask your opinion then, because on kind of understanding that, okay, you know that as a woman, if you're posting online, etc., and these beauty, sexy photos and stuff, you know that's inviting male attention, and guys are maybe going to ask you out and try that with you, right? Do you think it's then, I don't sound unreasonable, let me rephrase the question. Do you understand why a guy then would have an issue with that part of your life, the social media part, if he was going to be in a relationship with you?
I could see how it would be a worry.
Sure.
As in, she's got that many guys DMing her. What if it's like seeing if the grass is greener kind of thing?
Yeah.
I completely get that.
Yeah.
But then I think that comes down to having trust and trusting me to be like, if I've chosen to be with you, I'm not going to go behind your back. Because also, it's social media. Probably going to get caught out.
Maybe. That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think a lot of guys worry or fear.
100%. I get that completely.
Yeah. But is that because, okay, maybe currently you're getting DMs by guys that you're not really interested in. But then, I don't know, who's your favorite celebrity?
Good question. Panicking.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
No, I don't.
Not at all? Really?
I don't think I do.
Not, I was going to say Jason Momoa. I'm just gonna say Brad Pitt, but he's a bit older now. Zac Efron, I don't know. Michael B. Jordan. Come on, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, fair.
But I guess a guy who maybe you would perceive better than him.
Oh my
like
God,
a celebrity
look,
could slide into your DMs.
if Drake slid into my DMs, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
If Drake slid into anyone's DMs, who would say no?
I mean, she said about trust, but now she's like, nah, I'll break it for Drake. I'll break it for
Drake, if you're out there.
I'll break it for Drake.
If you're out there.
So do you think that's... Because that can happen then. You could be with a guy in a relationship and then a very notable guy in whatever industry could slide into your DMs because he found your page and stuff. And from your page, it obviously looks like you're available. And then he could be like, he slides into your DMs and you're like, I want to go meet, I don't know. What's that guy from Dune? Timothy...
Chalamet?
Right. Could be him, right? Well, because he's a pretty boy. So he could slide into your DMs and be like, hey, I'm in London for the day. Like for the weekend, let's go out for dinner, and you've got a boyfriend. You could easily just say yes and go, and your boyfriend would be none the wiser. And you'd be like, "Well, this is Timothy. Like, how am I going to say no to him?"
Yeah, I suppose there's a lot of people that probably would do that.
Yeah,
I'd be very straightforward. Like
with who? With Tim?
Me and Tim.
You and Tim?
Both parties. Like. Tim, but also the boyfriend. Like I'd say, oh my God, this actor's just DM me. But I'd also say to the actor, hey, like, thanks for messaging. I do have a boyfriend, but let's all three go for...
So if he's
see
like,
you in Nando's in 20.
He's like, yeah, I don't mind if I have a boyfriend. Don't bring him. Like, just you and me.
I'd be like, it's a bit dodgy. Or I'd
You already know what it is.
It's a bit sketchy. I'd have my boyfriend sat in the corner with like the newspaper, like peering over.
Okay. So would you be opposed to posting your boyfriend, like if you're in a relationship, would you be, because do you have to appear single to be successful on social media as a young woman? Can you still not be posting with your boyfriend like every now and again? So people know you're in a relationship, but you're still kind of posting other photos.
Yeah, I think you definitely can post.
Sure.
I've just kind of not been put off. That sounds really bad, but I've kind of got almost like that fear now of like, I've seen how people can react if it goes badly.
Yeah, of course.
I'd be worried for the other person, especially if they're not part of the kind of social media world. And
Very
then
true.
all of a sudden, I don't know, they got bombarded with a load of hate or questions, because people love to make stuff up as well. Like,
very true.
I had that when I was seeing a TikToker. I'd get DMs all the time being like, oh, are you with so-and-so? Like, I saw him out last weekend getting with this person. I was like, well, no, you didn't, because he was at mine last weekend.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, people
do you know what I mean? People being
and
jealous, trying to split you up and stuff like that.
Spin some stories, yeah.
So I'd just be very worried for them, because it can be hard on your mental health. Like, everyone talks about that nowadays, like the social media, the mental health side.
Yeah.
If you're not used to it, kind of thing, and all of a sudden you get bombarded with questions or assumptions, just people targeting you for things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm also worried about.
Yeah.
Because it would also take me a while to get to the point of putting someone up. Like, if I've only just started seeing you and dating you, I'm not going to post you on the first date. I want to see how it goes. If we've been together quite a while, then I'll start putting stuff up, because it's working. It's not that I put this post up today and next week we've broken up and I've got to like awkwardly delete. And then everyone goes, oh my God, did you see that she took down that post of her and her boyfriend? Have they split up? Have all of that? And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Give me 10 minutes.
100%. I actually want to ask you a female opinion, because I have my opinion on this situation, but I want to know what you think. And I don't want to impose my perspective. So a guy I was talking to recently asked for help. So he got into a relationship with this girl. Maybe they've been in a relationship for maybe a few months.
Okay.
And she's posted him on like her Instagram. So that's quite quick, because I agree. Like I'm a very private person as well. And so like, if you see my stories, you might see my girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? But she's very private. Yeah. She's super private. She's an actress as well, but she is very private. So in that sense, like, we just both like keeping our our private life offline. So I've got my acting page, which you'll see all my work on there, and then my content stuff. Do you know what I mean? And if I post like an Insta post, like that's quite significant.
Yeah.
So I mean, exactly the same. So this guy, his girlfriend posted him on her Instagram like within the first few months, which I thought that was pretty quick, but
Yeah.
each to their own.
If you want to do it, do it.
You do it
Personally,
for you. Do you know what I mean?
Not me, but
But then she still had pictures of her ex on there from like the previous year. And it was more than just one picture. It was like, it was a few. Like it was a few. It was a handful. And he sent me a profile. I was like, oh, it wasn't like she removed the ex photos and she missed one.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, there was still a handful of photos of like an ex from the previous year. But then there was also photos of him on her story, and it happened quite quickly. Like, as a girl, like, how do you see that? What does that say to you?
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I've still got pictures of my ex in my photos, but that's just because my camera roll is so full that I'm not going through, I don't know, like over 20,000 photos.
Of course.
To try and find them and delete them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
If it flashes up, I'll be like, oh, get rid of that.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to go searching.
Yeah.
However, I think that's very different to still having them up on social media.
Where anyone can see them.
Yeah. Like, from my perspective, and even from some of my friends, when they've posted and then they've broken up, they've taken them. That's almost like the first thing. It's like, get that down, get that gone. Like,
get rid of it. Get rid of it all.
Kill it with fire.
Get it all. So true.
So for me, that would definitely be something I'd take down. Not even to be like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm single now. Like, these have gone. Even from like a respect point of view, I'd say.
I agree, but I'm biased because I'm a guy.
Yeah, I'd say if we're dating and we've split up, it's a bit weird. Or like if I was dating a guy and he had pictures of me and him on his account, and a year later he still hadn't taken them down, I'd be going, you seem a bit psycho, mate. Yeah. Like, why haven't you taken...
So why do you think she hasn't taken it down?
Do you know how far back on the Instagram? Like, is she a person with hundreds of posts, or is she a person with like 10?
So she had several hundred of posts, but like you didn't have to scroll far to see it because this was only last year. It was only last year that these...
So it wasn't like you had to scroll.
If it was like 10 years ago, that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, because you're like, oh, if I'm going to go down to delete, maybe you just don't do it, right?
If she had thousands of photos posted and it was from literally when she first started and it's down the bottom somewhere.
Neither here or there. But like, I only had to do that once, and I saw a handful of photos with a boyfriend who obviously looked like her ex because they were together, right? And there were several. So
is she still friends with him? Do you know? Because that could be a possibility. If
I didn't ask that.
If they're friends, I mean, that's down to her and her boyfriend and how he feels about her being friends with an ex.
Yeah.
But that could explain it if they're friends now instead, so she's not taking them down. But then also, I mean, I think it's a bit weird. I'd have it straight down.
I think it's weird because they're still like coupley photos.
Well, that's
like,
what I was going to say.
But like
hugging and
like very intimate. Yeah.
Maybe she still likes him. I know that's probably not the news that he'd want to hear.
Yeah.
But that's where my head's going. If you're it's almost like she's hanging on. It's like, if I take those pictures down, it's final. It's done.
But then she's posting with her new boyfriend.
Yeah, see, that's weird.
Do you know what I think it might be? I think there is an element with women, and you tell me, with women, I think there is an element of whoever has commitment from a guy gives her status. Like, I'm the one who's in a relationship. Like, I have a relationship.
Yeah.
And so keeping the photos up almost validates that she's a girl that guys always choose to commit to, and that almost gives her status, like, amongst women. Is there a thing there, or am I just making it up?
No, potentially. Like, I've known girls where it's like they're in a relationship and it's all they'll talk about, all they'll post about. It's like in your face constantly because they're like, well, look at me, I've got a boyfriend.
Sure.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, we get it.
Round of applause, 10 points. Like, what do you want for that? Like,
yes.
So yeah, but then having pictures of your ex and posting your
Your
new partner.
That's weird, man.
That's what's weird to me. It's not like if she was just very quick to start posting this new partner, and that was the only bloke on her page, fair, then I'd be thinking, okay, it's a bit...
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. That's her kind of showing off a bit and being like, oh, look, if it's constant, especially like, oh, look, I've got a boyfriend, I've got a new boyfriend. Yeah, I'd maybe say that it's that she doesn't want to let go, maybe. That's kind of like the final step. Is if I take those pictures down, end of an era. That's it. Gone. Done. Yeah,
it's true. Even if you're in your role. Yeah. I just think it's just, I mean, if I go on your page and I don't know who your boyfriend is because you're posting with different guys, like, personally for me, that I would definitely ask her to take it down. And if she didn't, I'd be like, why? And it could be a point of contention for the relationship, if that was a thing.
I think that's definitely a thing. Like, he should definitely kind of say to her, oh, who's that?
Why is he still there?
Yeah, and if she goes, oh, that's my ex, be like,
what?
Pardon?
Literally, like,
question mark?
Excuse me? That's mad. What's something else you want to talk about? Something else you have to ask?
Let me see what else I've got, if I've got any more.
Yeah.
Try and think of one on the spot. Hang on.
That's all right. I've got one if you don't.
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
Pass the baton back.
Switching gears, do you think everybody should have a quote-unquote hoe phase? Do you think everyone should have an exploration phase where, like, I'm just going to go out, do the most, kind of sow my wild oats, and then, what they get that out their system?
Yeah, I do get what you mean. I think it's been really, what's the word? Like, overhyped, having a hoe phase nowadays. Like,
bars.
Especially, it's like, as soon as you break up with someone, for girls, it's very much like, oh, don't worry, we'll go out, like, hoe phase, yay. I'm like, but maybe it's just me, because I don't want to go out and pull a different guy every week, because that's just boring. Like, it takes too long. Like,
I love how you like it takes too long for you, and for guys, that's a graft.
Literally, I was about to say, like, you want me to have to dress up and look good every weekend to, like, try and pull? No. Can't bothered.
What do you think the attraction is? I know what the attraction is for guys. What do you think the attraction is for girls to kind of be doing that, kind of going out, hooking up with different guys and stuff?
I think it almost, with some people at least, makes them almost feel superior. It's like, well, look at me. I can go out every weekend and everyone wants to get with me. So I must be the best looking. Like,
okay.
Do you know what I mean? It kind of makes them, it makes you feel good.
Validates their desirability. Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That was the right way to phrase that.
Yeah.
It makes them think, oh, I'm desirable. Like, everyone wants to be with me, especially if you have just broken up with someone. Like,
of course, yeah. Or if they've broken up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, even more so.
Oh, yeah, even more so. Like,
100%.
Even in my experience, of course, there's been times where a relationship has ended for me and I've been like, yeah, I'm going out. Like,
get attention.
Straight on the phone to my mate. I'm like, can we go for a drink? Like, pub, club, bar, wherever. All of them at once. Don't care. And if someone does then come up to you, it's like, haha, like, to your ex kind of thing. It's like, well, if you don't want me, all these people here do. So
yeah, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? It can very much be like that. It's
I think, if I was going to be honest, I think the mistake sometimes girls can make in terms of going out, hooking up with a different guy every other week because it validates their desirability. A guy willing to have sex with you is not validation for me.
No, not at all.
That's validation for him.
Yeah.
It's not validation
I
for
agree
you.
with that.
Because, girls are the gatekeepers for physical intimacy. Guys are gatekeepers for emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
So if every guy's trying to put a ring on it, that's validation.
Yeah,
if every guy's
fair.
like, I want to commit to you, give my everything to you, that's different. But a guy just approaching you because he thinks you're really hot, i.e. he wants to have sex.
Yeah.
That's not real validation. Not really. Because to be honest, like, a lot of guys, they'll just have sex with anything. I won't even lie to you.
Anything with a pulse.
Honestly.
If a tree had a pulse, it needs to look out.
If a tree has a hole, a guy has
especially if they've been to a club beforehand. Like, you give a guy alcohol.
Do you know what I mean? But don't don't women know that though? Or do they think, do most girls think, oh, if a guy wants me like physically, then that does validate how desirable I am?
I'd love to back the girlies here and be like, no, we know. Like, we're not that stupid. Like,
Sure.
However, I do think...
Yes, but.
Literally, it is a yes, but.
Sure.
I think, especially if you've gone through something like a breakup.
Yeah.
You're kind of blindsided. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've been through that, you're so upset because someone's just broken up with you and you go to a club and you start getting attention from someone else.
Yeah.
It's like almost like giving your ex the middle finger. It's like, haha, like.
Yeah. You didn't want me, but someone else does.
Yeah, you didn't want me, but look at that. I can jump straight on to the next
Into
thing.
something else.
And it's obviously not my fault that we broke up because people in here like me. I think especially in that situation, girls get blindsided by it. If it's just you've not been in a relationship for a while and you're out on a Saturday night and as the night progresses, people are trying to get with you and that, I think then you're more aware and are like, well, you're just drunk and want to have sex. So go for a walk. Like, no.
100%.
But I think there is those times where if you've just been broken up with, even if something like bad's happened, could have fallen out with a friend, whatever, you've gone
even
out
just
for a reason.
her falling out with one of her friends, she'd be like, I'm gonna go out and get some.
Maybe if when girls go out and get drunk, especially if it's for a coping reason, then
wow, that's
sometimes girls will just be like, whatever, let's go on then. Like, give me some validation. It makes me feel good, makes me feel attractive. So
of course,
let's do it, kind of thing.
Wow. I guess even with friends, that does make sense. It's interesting because it's funny how I feel like women get blinded by attention and men get blinded by sex a lot of the time. I think a guy can be like, oh, because the sexual chemistry is really good, I'm in love with it. It's like, no, you're not.
Wait till that passes.
You're not, because when you get used to it and then you start to see who the person is, then you're like, oh, okay, this isn't compatible for what I thought. Or this isn't suitable. And I guess sometimes, a lot of the time, if a girl's not that attracted to a guy, but he gives her so much attention and validation as to almost compensate, then maybe she can get blinded by that. And, you know, to be fair, if she gives a guy a chance, I think most girls should give more guys a chance. That would help them. Because there are a lot of great guys who just don't, like, maybe they're not 6 foot, they're not on in the most. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's personality, for me at least.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, no matter what anyone says, looks are involved.
Sure.
Because you've got to have that initial attraction.
Yes, I agree.
To somebody.
I agree.
In some sense.
Yes.
But the way to really win me over, at least, and even with a lot of girls, it's personality. Like, you could be the best looking guy in the world. If you've got an awful personality, you're really boring, you're really dull, everything like that, I'm going to be like, well, you're no fun.
I think I agree with that. I think what it is that the hardest part for guys is getting the opportunity.
Yeah, to get to that point.
Where she gives the space where he can show his personality.
Yeah.
Because it's like, look, he could be the best person in the world, but if you can't get on a date with her, it counts for nothing.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got to be able to...
Have you ever kind of been not sure about whether you're attracted to a guy, but then his personality made you attracted to him? Or have you always only really given guys a chance where you're like, no, I am attracted to you, so then I'm open to getting to know you?
No, I've dated some questionable people in my time.
Okay. What made you give them a chance?
Personality. Like, a lot of the people I've dated, I've met through work or friends, shows, things like that.
Sure.
That's how I've met them.
Yeah.
So it has been the fact that I've got to know their personality, and that's what's kind of drawn me in. Like,
so you're already in an environment where you could see who they were.
Yeah.
As opposed to like on a bar night out and they're approaching you.
Exactly. I don't really get approached on nights out.
Yeah, most guys don't approach that much anyway.
I can't say that I think I've been approached like twice in my life.
No.
I'm not even kidding you.
No, I don't believe that.
Maybe
Really?
I'm scary. I don't know.
Really?
People always say I've got a resting bitch face.
Oh, maybe that's
So,
why. They think they don't have a chance. That's why they don't approach you.
Maybe.
Damn. Have you ever approached a guy before?
No, I don't think so.
No? Would you?
Yeah, potentially. If
Okay.
I got like almost like a good signal. Do you know what I mean? Like your typical film thing of like, if I look over and see someone's good looking,
Yeah.
but I can kind of clock them look at me as well,
Yeah.
then yeah, maybe I would.
But you go out and you see guys looking at you though.
Yeah, sometimes.
So how come you've never approached them?
I'm scared.
So is he. No, I get that. I think, do you know what's funny? Women are more scared to approach, but if they approach, they'd be way more successful than guys.
Probably,
way
yeah.
more successful. Way more. Because one, a guy's never expecting it. So
Yeah.
like if you approach a guy, like, hey, like I thought you were really cute. Like, let's get a drink. He'll be like, wait, you talking to me? Really?
Who's
You-
that?
You're talking to me? And if I'm being honest, it's very unlikely that she would be mistaken for a sexual predator. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
She's not gonna be like, I don't think a guy has ever, probably not ever. No, I'm gonna say ever. I don't think a guy has ever called a woman a creep who
Yeah, no,
like
probably
approached
not.
him. Maybe a stalker. That could
yeah.
be a thing.
If
Which I
yeah, I
guess is
mean,
creepy.
yeah, or
But,
an
like,
ex maybe.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. But I guess like her just approaching him on a night,
Yeah,
even if he's not attractive, if he's not attracted to her rather, he's still be like, oh, like, that's cool.
yeah.
Like she made the move, like respect. Do you know what I mean? Because that is hard.
I do wonder sometimes if I don't get approached as well, because when I'm out,
Mm.
I'm still quite sensible.
What do you mean?
If my friends watch this, they're going to be laughing and be like, she is not sensible. Leave it out,
Leave it in the
Charlotte.
comments below.
Yeah.
Tell us what she's really like.
They'll all be like DMing videos of me like passed out in the street.
And this is where she
This
fell
is
asleep on the
sensible?
street.
Question mark.
We're like, what?
But as in, even if I am quite drunk, quite tipsy, whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the acting training. I can
Okay.
hold it together quite well. Like
Okay.
from a distance, you wouldn't know how drunk I am, kind of thing.
Right.
Even my friends say it to me. A lot of them have been like, especially the next day, they'll be like, I did not know that you did not seem that drunk last night. Like you hold it together
Interesting.
quite well. So I wonder if that's why, if I am at a bar,
Yeah,
guys don't come over. Not to give guys a bad rep, but
sure.
if a guy's going out just looking to have sex with someone,
Yeah.
they're probably going to go for someone that's a bit more tipsy.
A bit looser.
Yeah, that's not going to reject them as quick.
Sure. That's a fair point.
Whereas
Maybe
if
that's a factor. Yeah.
there's a girl stood in the corner with a resting bitch face that looks quite sober,
Yeah.
you're probably thinking, oh.
Probably less of a chance.
Yeah.
That's true. But you know, I've never, and I'm not even just saying this, and my friends are the same. Like I've never, if I think a girl is drunk, that would make me go, I'm not going to approach
Yeah,
her.
red flag kind of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like,
Or even, honestly, not even just a red flag. It'd just be like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the guy that she slept with because she was just drunk and she would never choose me sober. So even like an ego thing.
yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it's like,
I'd
do
be
you know
more
what I mean?
worried if I was a guy that the rape card would
100%.
get
She'd be like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Whatever.
Waking
I'm
up
like,
the next
that's just
morning
not
and she goes, who are you?
dead. Run.
I'd be like, I don't know who I am. I'm out.
100%. No, that's so true. That's so true. And it's interesting though, because if a guy is drunk, that's never looked at the other way.
I do think there's different standards. 100%.
Yeah. When a double standard's okay. I'm not saying that's not okay, but when a double standard's okay.
Ooh. Oh God, I'd need like a. Can you give me some situations I can tell you yes or no?
Okay, let's start with that. Like, guy and a girl, they're both drunk.
Mm-hmm.
They both end up having sex. Neither of them really remember. Should he, because he's the guy, should there have been more of an onus responsibility on him to make sure that she had her wherewithal?
I
Or
think
do you think
if
it was more kind of equal? Like she should be aware of him as her.
I think it's definitely more equal.
Okay.
Because if you're both drunk, it's not.
Mm.
It's not like someone's sober and
Very
knowingly taking advantage. If
Yes.
it's you're both drunk and having sex,
Yeah.
one, you probably should have thought that through a little bit.
Mm.
But I also think it would be different as well, depending on if they're in a relationship or not. Like if it's just someone you've brought home
That's
from
true.
a club,
Yes.
bit dodgy
Yeah.
on both parts. Like
yeah, sure.
you've brought a complete random home. Like
yeah.
you don't know how that's going to end.
Very true.
As in, who's going to wake up the next morning and say, "Oh no, I was sober," or "I don't remember, I don't know who you are." Kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you're in a relationship and you've gone out, you've had a few drinks together, you've had a good night, you've come back, you've had sex, and then you wake up the next morning and you're a bit like, "I don't really remember much."
That's
just a bit like, did we? Like,
yeah. That'd be worse. You're in a relationship, you wake up like, who are you?
Could you imagine?
Like the past 8 months. That's so funny. Okay. What's another? Okay, the cliche double standard. Body count. If a girl has a high body count, it's kind of, a guy's like, didn't sure if I want to go there. But if a guy has one, women are they're not less likely to deter them from the guy. They might if he's a bit of a dog, a bit of a player, but generally speaking, guys have a harsher standard with that.
Yeah, I think it depends on how high the number is for both parties. Like,
I think that's fair
for guys
actually.
and girls.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
If I was chatting to a guy and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, body counts 10, whatever," I'd be like, "Okay, well that was 10 people before me. As long as you've not got anything."
Very true.
Fine. But if he was like to me, "Oh, it's over 100," I'd be like, "Pardon?"
Yeah.
Sorry, that just doesn't give off good signals, kind of thing. Especially depending on their age. Like,
very true.
If you're like, I knew a guy that, just a friend, like mutual friend.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, my body count is over 100,"
Wow.
and he was about 21, and I was thinking, "Pardon?" Like,
well, 100%.
Like,
what do you think that says about the guy?
Bit of a dog, a bit of a man whore, if I'm being honest.
I think this sounds mean, but I'm just gonna say it plainly. That just sounds like you have very low standards. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, because you're not telling me all 100 of them.
There's no way not all 100 of them are absolute stunners. No way. Sorry.
Not at all.
No.
So
I hear that.
And I think should be the same for a girl as well. If it's outrageously high, yeah, all right.
What's outrageously high for a girl?
I'd say around the same if we're putting
100?
it in. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think quite high, depending on your age as well. If you're
Depending on your age, yeah, that's true.
Even if someone said to me now at the age of 20 or something, "Oh yeah, my body count's 50," I'd be a bit like,
yeah, that's high.
You've worked quick. Like,
yeah,
you've worked quick.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I'd get that if a girl that was 20, 21, her body count was 50 plus.
Yeah.
And she said that to a guy and he was like,
yeah, I'm out. Is there such a thing? If a guy was like, let's say you're 20, right? So let's say you met a guy who's 26 and like he's attractive, etc. And let's say, I don't know how the whole thing of how many people have you been with comes up. And he's like, yeah, I've only been with one girl. And he's been single for like the past 5 years. Would that make you think anything? Like, is there such a thing as almost too low for a guy?
Not sexually, I wouldn't say. Because if he's only been with one girl, he could have had sex 100 times just with one girl.
True.
Like, that's not...
But that's why I said he's been single for the past 5 years.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like the thing of when a guy says, "Oh, I've never had a relationship before."
Yeah, sure.
That kind of makes me go, "Oh,
why?
You sure you want me to be the one to take that for a test drive?"
Yeah.
Like, for one,
Fair
but
point.
also, yeah, why?
Yeah.
Why haven't you? If you've just not, and you've not wanted one, you've not been in the right place, okay, fair. But also, if this is going to be your first relationship,
Yeah.
what are you going to be like in the relationship.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've not had past
practice.
relationships that they've learnt things from, and the do's and don'ts in certain situations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely.
almost like you're almost going to be teaching them. I know that sounds horrible, and for some guys that's probably not the case at all. Like they'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I think if you've had relationships before and you feel a bit more experienced and more mature in relationships than them, and they've had no one, it's going to be a bit difficult to...
I get that. I think, I'll be honest, I think that's, when I say a double standard, not even necessarily a bad way. I think if a guy was with a girl and she had never had a relationship and she'd only slept with, well, I guess, would she have slept with many people she'd never? Let's say if she hadn't had that much experience, I think guys would be like, cool, I'm happy to kind of teach her along the way. But yeah, I think girls generally, they want a guy typically who's maybe at least more mature, more experienced, so that she doesn't feel like she has to teach him.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a lot of girls go for older guys as it is, just because of the maturity level. Like,
yeah, no, that's a fair.
It sounds horrible, but that
true.
is, that's a proven fact that girls mature quicker at a younger age than guys do.
I do agree. I do agree with that. I do think though that sometimes we associate with wanting commitment with maturity, and that's not always the case.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's like, oh, well, if you don't want a commitment, that means you haven't matured yet. And it's like, not necessarily. And just because you want commitment doesn't mean you're mature.
It depends on the person. Like,
yeah, for sure. What's one thing, just to wrap up, what's one thing you would ask? Do you want to get married?
Yeah.
What's one thing you would ask your future husband?
Oh. Let's just get played on like my wedding day, the question.
Yeah.
One thing I'd ask him, just in general.
Yeah. Like imagine if, imagine if by the time you're 35, you're married and you've had a kid or whatever. And let's say you could pose one question to your husband then, but you now, what would you ask him?
Was it a good wedding?
That's a good question.
Was it on holiday? Because I want to get married abroad.
Okay. Where do you want to get married?
Somewhere like maybe Spain, or to be honest, I'd probably go more Hawaii or something.
Okay.
My mum's going to kill me if she hears this. She'll be like, we are not paying for you to get married in Hawaii. Go away.
Well, listen, guys, those guys who are following you in DMs, you heard it. If you can provide a wedding abroad, you might be in there. There you go.
Could work. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'd probably ask something like that. Or just, are we happy? That might be my other question.
That's very valid.
Please tell me we're happy.
That's very valid. Well, look, Charlotte, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you sharing your energy with us. If people want to find you, where can they find you?
Every social media platform is at Charlotte Spokes.
Charlotte Spokes. Cool. Is that Charlotte with 2 T's or 1?
2 T's.
2 T's. We love that. Well, guys, go show Charlotte some love. Go give her a follow, some likes. And if you can provide a wedding in Hawaii, you better slide in them DMs, boy.
Hit me up.
You might get there. No, but thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And I will see you in the next episode.